Hello everyone, here we go on a 15 Priory. I did this a while ago, but I really didn't even want to look at it because 15 Priory honestly took me about probably 15 tries, to be honest with you, because Priory is the hardest dungeon this season. Why? Because it requires the whole group to be competent and do their job. Okay, one person messing up will throw off the entire key. Now, at a 15 key, Priory is one of the only dungeons where I will actually specifically ask the tank for their route, because their route really will change how I heal and how I use my cooldown. Now, the first pull is generally always the same. They'll pull people to the back corner. The second pull, you're either going right or left. If you're going right, you have to kick the boss, and you have to kick on cooldown, or essentially someone's going to die. If you go left, you're just going to have to output a little more heals and make sure you use defensives on someone who's getting jumped by the boss. Okay, but otherwise, I'm also looking for which specific mobs he's pulling, because there has been a time when I went right and I dranked on the bottom of the stairs and I sprinted up the stairs in cat form, and I didn't realize the tank didn't pull one of the mobs in the right corner, and I totally aggroed it and wiped the key. As with every key, I've tried to identify who the two weakest targets are, so I have my life blooms rolling on them. I heal overtimed the tank before he started running. I don't dare cast a heal now. He's going to aggro them in the corner. Now, as far as damage goes, there is one critical thing you have to watch out for: pot shots. Pot shots can essentially one-shot people who have no versatility. I have 30% versatility, and if I get hit by a pot shot without being in bear form, I'm probably still going to lose 80% of my health. So if anything else touched me, I'm going to die, all right? And the same goes for pretty much everyone else who's getting shot by a pot shot. So if I do a good job, and I'm watching out, paying attention, I'll look, okay, this guy's getting pot shot. Make sure I got a life boom, and make sure I'm pre-casting a regrowth on him to counter that damage, okay? And make sure they're topped off. So you need everyone in this fight topped up to 100% health, because those thunderclaps that came out that was group-wide damage is also about 60 to 75% of someone's health, okay? So you have to watch out for, number one, pot shots. Number two, raid-wide damage. I believe that Shamir there stood in a trap. Number three, you got to look out for traps. So the good news is, for movement, the only thing you have to worry about movement here is traps. You can literally just stand still aside from movement, okay? Now, you can't usually heal through a trap on someone unless you have your iron skin, and you can throw it on them and just spam your nature's grass on them. So it's not that easy to heal, particularly with all the other things that are going on here. There's a lot of stuff going on that you have to help out with. You can push Typhoon, the sharpshooters back into the mob. That'll help out a lot to even interrupt some of the shots that are going out. And you can also disrupt and shout the defense that are going up. I don't think I did a good job of that here, but I had a lot going on. So for this pull, use all your cooldowns, all right? Shield Slam is also another mini boss ability that you have to watch out for that does good damage, and there it is, and it looks like the tank took that really well. But right now, again, what you have to look out for: pot shots. If you are getting hit by a pot shot, bear form, like instantly, okay? And use Frenzied Rejuvenation. If someone else is getting pot shot, make sure you're healing them, keep them topped off before they get hit. Then watch out for those thunderclaps. Keep everyone topped off before a thunderclap, and use a cooldown if you've got one, to recover from the thunderclap, because that is serious damage. Use all your cooldowns on this pool. Now, the next mini boss, this one in an unorganized group, and with people like me who don't do a great job dodging the leap of the mini boss, you'll take a nasty damage over time. Like I just got hit right there. To counter that damage over time, you're going to want to make sure that you got a life bloom on someone and at least one rejuvenation, and then definitely cluster regrowth on them to top them off. But otherwise, if your group is like a really good group at dodging all of those leaps, then you can really just focus on damage here, which is a-okay. So in retrospect, oh no, there was a lot of damage going on. Like I'm getting hit by a lot, like a lynx here. That was not nice, and I got hit by that. I almost got hit by that. So how you can dodge it from this mini boss is make sure that whoever it's targeting, and I don't really have great UI to tell me, whoever it's targeting you are sidestepping or just not around. Okay, so that chamois who just got hit right there, he could have quickly moved sideways, right? And then he wouldn't have got hit by that leap. And so that leap is serious damage over time. Damage. If you're not ready for it, you might lose someone or might have to blow like an instant heal on them. But if you're ready for it, it's really not that big a deal. And so in retrospect, for me to play better, I should try to be more aggressive with more damage, make sure I have a shred and rip up on the mini boss. And I shouldn't be too worried. I didn't use my Convoke here. I should have used Convoke here offensively. You don't really need Convoke to as a defensive kind of move spell there. So in retrospect, use your Convoke there in that fight and try to make sure shred and rip her up on the mini boss at least, and just try your best to dodge that leap. Do a better job than me and most of the people in this party, but otherwise that's it there. And watch out for lynxes. The lynx will jump the person who's furthest away. If you drop a vortex, that'll save you for at least one of the leaps. Here comes a pot shot. Thankfully, I had some heal over times on me. For this one now, we are getting a little into danger territory, okay? Sharpshooters are always dangerous, so you do have to make sure in this fight, and pretty much honestly every fight, that everyone is 100% topped off as fast as possible, okay, while not burning through mana like a crazy person. And so the real danger here, everyone's dangerous here, the real danger here aside from sharpshooters is also the knights, because they'll do a massive AoE ability. Sneak a drink when you can, but I know I'm not going to get a lot of time. So this boss is actually really tough on a lot of healers, but not Resto Druids, okay? If you have full heal over times on your whole party, like Life Blooms, Rejuvenations, and Wild Growth, honestly, you don't even have to dispel the fires. Just cast a couple regrowths with clear casting and you're good. So my routine is when that, I'm even adding a little damage in. I'm feeling real good here. But my routine is make sure I got Life Bloom myself, Life Bloom and someone else, instant dispel once that fire ability goes out, Flame Strike, then make sure everyone's obviously got heal over times, use a couple of regrowths to catch everyone up, and use a cooldown if I need it. Like I held on to my Lumithar's Living Silk there. I could have used it, and that would have been for sure I'm good. I used it on this one and said, okay, I'm getting a little behind. I'll use Lumithar's, I'm spamming heals, and everyone's like, no one dropped below 60% health. Now, as far as movement goes, obviously you have to dodge the pools of fire on the floor. So that does add a layer of complexity, because in addition to this crap, you have to make sure you're not standing in something, right? And you are going to be staring at health bars substantially here. As a general rule of thumb, I would say if you want to be safe, make sure you use at least one cooldown, Convoke, Tranquility, or Lumithar's Living Silk, or whatever your trinket is, or your skins, Bark Skin, Iron Skin, to make sure you make it through each one of those fires. Again, dispel instantly. And if you want to be super, super safe, make sure you got full heal over times on your whole party, or it's all out there, okay, before the fire goes off. And then cast clear casted regrowths. Your 2 of them that you should have charged from all the heal over times. And then it's actually really chill. But God, you're sweating bullets on some other healers, man. I see a lot of other healers struggle when I run 15 or even 14 Priory on my DK with some other healers. But man, I'm chilling on Resto Druid. So really cool. Okay, so this boss, he does raid-wide AoE damage. Honestly, it's not that bad. Again, like you can see, my whole party has heal over times on them. Full heal over times. Almost full heal over times. I think I could have doubled up rejuvenations on people if I wanted to. And no one was in real serious danger. Like I could cast regrowth a couple times and we're okay. And I didn't use substantial cooldowns there. So that's really cool, right? Resto Druid healer times really strong, even on a 15 key here with about 716 item level. It's only going to get easier when we get higher item level. Now, this is getting a little scarier. We do have to kick here now. The good news is there's not a whole lot dangerous stuff to kick, so your party's probably going to be okay with it, so you don't have to stress it. But yeah, otherwise you can help out with defense by using your roar, which I did not do a good job of, but my group's pretty good at handling it. I definitely could help though. If you want to help with CC, what I could have done in retrospect is added a Vortex and a Typhoon, but getting a little dangerous there. Someone got hit, so you know that was actually pretty scary. All right, so looks like we're doing pretty good here. Now, what are we doing the next one? It looks like we're going to run through and go to the boss. Now, I have been spamming a lot of rejuvenations because it is a priority. And again, you need everyone topped at all times and anyone can die at any time. So I'm being overly cautious. If I run a 15 priority again, I probably won't be spamming as much regrowths as I am now because it takes a lot of mana. I'll try and trust my people more, but I wanted to time this bad boy, and I didn't want someone dying to, because of me to be that reason, right? So, ooh, that person died right there. That was a none-kicked fireball. Okay, my kick was on cooldown, and I think everyone else's kick was on cooldown. That's why I personally don't mind going left versus right, because as a Resto Druid, like, your heal output is super strong, that the left side doesn't scare me. Left side is harder on the healer, but this side is really dangerous because if you miss one kick and someone isn't topped to 100% health, you can die. Or if you get some overlap like that and then a fireball goes out, okay? If you get hit by a fireball, make sure you bear now it is kind of dangerous to do your kick on the caster when he's standing, for example, in some nasty stuff on the floor. Okay, don't charge into that, obviously, and just make sure someone's topped off. Just let someone else kick it. But in terms of movement, you obviously have to dodge the fire circles on the ground when they come out, and don't stand in those puddles. And watch out for patrols if you guys are like looming towards the outer part of the ring. Otherwise, just keep everyone topped up 100%. Kick what you can. Sometimes I've been assigned to a couple times I've been assigned to kick only the boss, and then the boss's shout. And then everyone else just does the caster. And I think that was smart because the boss is not usually in the puddle, that brown puddle on the floor, but the caster can very well be sometimes. And so I liked that approach, and that worked out well. But if no one tells you that, you're probably better off just making sure none of those fireballs get through. We had one death there, and we already had 2 deaths in this key, which is not good in a priority. Okay, you need all the time you can in a priority. And there goes another one. The guy got hit, 65% of his health. I think he didn't use a defensive. He could have. And that would have been a lot less scary. Dodging fireballs on the floor. And otherwise, I think that's about it for this fight. Just rinse and repeat. One tip I would have is don't overburn your mana, because the tank's going to go straight in and start this huge mumbo jumbo pool, and it's going to be pool after pool after pool to the boss, and so you're not going to get another drink until the boss. Okay, so make sure you're getting drinked up really good. You are going to be spamming heals here. Okay, so now you're going to want to iron skin your tank when he goes in there, but I didn't have it. Most tanks actually ask me for it, or a lot of tanks do. And obviously, what you have to worry about here is sacred tolls. You don't have to worry too much about movement as long as you're staying far away. Get as many people as you can in your efflorescence, but otherwise, watch out for when the sacred tolls are coming. A good indicator for me is when I hear my one of my DBM say, consecration. As soon as they do the consecrations, I start spamming heal over times on my party, because right after the consecrations come are the sacred tolls. Okay, so after the consecration, watch very soon, there's going to be a sacred toll, and he's chain pulling him in another one, and I'm getting no breather, and that's all right. I'm ready. Here come the sacred tolls after the consecration, right? So just once you see the consecration or hear it, know that it's about time. I don't even have my UI telling me when sacred tolls are coming. I do recommend having that. I'm just too lazy to get it. I used to have it. I think DBM was the one telling me. I use bigwigs now. But know that this thing you really have to worry about here is not just healing through the sacred tolls, which sucks on its own, but you have to worry about one cast in addition to the sacred tolls. If someone gets hit by one random cast flying out and sacred toll at the same time, they're dead. Okay, and that's the crappiest part here. So you're praying the tank knows how to pull this correctly so that your team can handle it. Now, if you hadn't noticed, I haven't used a single cooldown on anything until now. Okay, the cool thing is that with Lust, you can muscle through the first huge pull, and you can muscle all the way to this one. And when I say muscle, I mean don't use a cooldown. So you're using full heal over times in a party. clear casted regrowths or spam regrowths when you need it. Use your Swift Man, obviously, and your Nature's Grasp. I'm not using my Tranquility. I haven't even used my Tranquility yet, and I just started using my Convoke. So that way, you'll have it here when you need it. Honestly, if you use your Convoke early enough, you might get it up in time for these mobs. But I play in a pug. I don't know what's going to happen, so I like to play in a more conservative manner. So I'm ready for crap when it does happen. All right, so adding kicks when you can. If I have anything to critique my gameplay on here, I didn't do enough damage, obviously, but I certainly didn't kick enough. I think I kicked one thing maybe this entire time, but I did trust my team. Like, my team was really good with kicks, so I just knew I had to fulfill my part of the of the bargain, or my part of the team here, which is make sure no one dies from Sacred Tolls, essentially. There's a cast. Yeah, I kicked one. Good job, me. I should have ripped him right after that. But I'm getting scared. Here come Consecration, so I know what's coming. I have Lumithars ready. And god damn, I almost died there. So I got shot by a Fireball and the Sacred Toll at the same time. But I shifted into bear form, used Frenzy Rejuvenation, and I lived, okay? If I did not shift into a bear form, I was 100% dead there, okay? So you certainly, if you are going to time a Priory, you need an add-on to tell you when you are being targeted by a spell. And I put it dead center on my screen so I don't miss it, all right? Because I know it's old crap time. Hit my old crap button, which for me is my X, which shifts me in a bear form and uses Frenzy Rejuvenation, okay? Alright, so the good news is we made it through the hardest part of this dungeon for you as a healer, and probably just for the whole group in general, aside from the first pull. I'd say actually the first pull is where I see more groups wipe. If you made it all the way here, probably less chance of dying because your group is just better. Now here's probably the last time you're going to get to drink for a little bit, so get a really good drink here. You should be able to drink to full. You don't even have to jump in the fight for a little bit. So yeah, you can certainly drink to full mana here, and you're going to need it. You should be spamming heals here, at least during certain moments. Stack on the tank in terms of movement. Move with the tank, so this is where having a marker on the tank is super necessary. Follow the tank around. That's all you got to do movement-wise, okay? So you don't have to memorize any specific movement patterns. Follow the tank. Now, after the hammers come out, here it comes. Castigator's Shield. You have to make sure you got heal over times on your party before that Castigator's Shield comes, because it does damage, and they're going to go right into pulling orbs here. Every orb does massive damage to people who are taking it, and raid-wide damage. This is where you'll want to use a cooldown. I was being fancy here, and I was muscling through it without a cooldown because it was only 3 balls. I would prefer to save a cooldown for the 5 ball coming up here, which is about to hit right now. I do have a Paladin, which will make it easier because they can always take a lot and bubble. Now, I know this is a 5 ball, so to be extra safe, I use Lumithar Living Silk on the Cascading Shield so that everyone is like near full health, so it gives me a little boost. Then I also use Convoked. I double cooldowned that one. So God, and I'm glad I did, looking at how those health bars were jumpy there, okay? At first I was like, oh man, I used 2, but in retrospect, after looking at this video, like, I think 2 was the play there. I still have Tranquility, which I can use for a 5 ball. Now I'm feeling really confident. Okay, I can muscle the 3 ball, and I need a cooldown for that 5 ball, okay? Particularly since people seem to be using their defenses, is what it felt like, at least from that last one. So here we come, muscling through it here. We still have 2 Nature's Grasps, so I'm feeling good. Oh, no, I didn't muscle it. I used Tranquility because I said, why not? Convoke is coming off cooldown. Might as well use it. I've been holding on to it forever. And so I have 2 Nature's Grasp. I'll have Convoke up for the next one. Life is good. All right, follow the tank. I wouldn't use Effervescence until you get to this point before the Cascading Shield. And again here before the balls, because it costs a lot of mana and your group moves around a lot. So you don't really get a lot of use out of it. If you're going to take a ball, and I wouldn't take a ball unless it's the 5 one, make sure you have your bark skin up. I didn't have it there, but I felt like, hey, I can do it. I wouldn't recommend it. It was kind of dangerous, to be honest. Only take one if you got your bark skin up. All right, now we've got Lumithar's Living Silk up again. I'm certainly going to use it here. Yep, I use it for the Cascading Shield so that we're essentially full going into this. So I know I can easily muscle this because we're ready. Everyone's got almost full heal over times. and I just cast my Clear Cast of Regos. I took one, and life is good. Not having too hard a time on the 3 ones. Okay, your healer times as a druid are fantastic, and your tier set with regrowth makes this honestly a really easy fight to heal through. So awesome, very smooth. Now, this pool is pretty chill. I mean, there is Sacred Toll to watch out for, but generally it's not that bad because it's not that many of them. You've done harder in the previous pools, so get a decent drink there in between. Before this fight and after this fight, you should be able to get a smallish drink. You're going to need it because you really ain't going to get another time to drink unless you ask for it, okay? So be careful with your mana here when you can. I still try to make sure everyone's got full healer times here because there are Sacred Tolls to watch out for. But, you know, pretty standard here. So know that I'm even feeling good. I'm even adding damage. I would recommend you help out a little bit with rakes and rips as well. But definitely, as soon as those consecrations are done, you know the Sacred Tolls are coming. So I knew that, and I came out and started blasting heals, all right? Thankfully, there's only 2 paladins, so you don't have to be super stressed about making sure you have full heal overtimes on your party. Probably just mild or half full heal overtimes in your party before you go into those healing those Sacred Tolls with muscle heals. All right, I do want to save my cooldowns for this because this is where stuff gets real. Now you have to prep for the Sacred Tolls, which are scary, but this is what makes it horrible. The purifications. Use your skins, bark skin and iron skin, on the purifications. If you get hit, bark skin. If your teammate gets hit, iron skin. Particularly if they don't have a defensive. Use a cooldown when Sacred Tolls come out. This is the dangerous part that I see a lot of teams wipe on too, because that purification hurts on a 15 key. Really, really hurts. And we even have a paladin with damage reduction for the whole party. I have Tranquility, didn't use it. I could have used it there, but I was feeling really good about my muscle healing through this. Kind of saving that Tranquility for a rainy day because I won't have any other cooldown for a full minute. But otherwise, we're muscle healing. We're just making sure now everyone has full heal overtimes almost. Okay, he's chain pulling. I ain't going to get a chance to drink. I'm a little scared because I'm like, damn, all right. When will these Sacred Tolls stop? That was a little dangerous. See, I didn't have enough rejuvenations on the party there. So it really kind of that one was a little rough one to get through. But we were okay. No one died. So it's all good. But yeah, now I'm like, okay, I got to help out here a little bit because this is taking forever to die here. So this is where I'm trying to throw in whatever I can to get that guy down. Every second matters. We have to clear. I did check the route before. We got to clear a lot of the whole room essentially for this route. This is a dangerous pool. We have the same thing as the last one. Now just ask for one last little tip. If you are getting hit by the purification, bear forming and frenzy rejuvenation while you're standing in an efflorescence will essentially counter all the damage. So if no one else is going to take any damage and you're getting hit by it and you're feeling pretty safe that everyone else is going to be cool, then just totally shift into bear form and frenzy rejuvenation to save your bark skin. This patrol is the same thing as before, just rinse and repeat, watch out for purifications, keep everyone topped up. And that's it essentially for this one. Of course you have to kick the volleys right there like that, but at this key level, like everyone knows that that's priority kick. Okay, you shouldn't have to add in a whole lot of kicks because there really isn't a lot going on here. Add in what you can, of course, help out, but your priority is make sure no one dies from those purifications and everything else that's going out. All right. Now we're going to skip ahead to the mini boss. Now the problem here is that at high keys you have to take this mini boss into at least one of these sets of troopers up there. Okay, I've had to heal through 2 of these before in a 15 key, and so if the team is desperate, they're going to pull both of them and expect you to heal through it. Okay, the good news is you can, so long as not a lot of casts go out. Okay, if your team is not doing great with the cast and you pull both packs, the left and the right, you're gonna die. The good news is you can heal through the rot damage really easy. You'll notice that the rot damage from Bomb Pike is not doing like any damage to the health bars because I'm trying to make sure to the best I can that everyone's got full healer times on them. But casts are going to be what kill people. Okay, so tips for this: Make sure everyone's got full heal over times. Make sure you use your innervate before you go into the pool, because you know you're going to be spamming regrowths. And then just use those. If you're in trouble, use a cooldown. Nature's Grass, someone who gets shot by a cast. I would help kick. I did have to tell my team I had no mana because I was blasting here. I did not want anyone to die. So Tank said, yep, he knew, thank God. And so all good. We're doing good on time, but otherwise here, obviously make sure you got heal over times in your party, particularly when the footmen die. There will be some damage that goes out. If you have just 1 or 2 heal over times on everyone, all that's going to be negated and life's going to be good. I've also seen teams pull footmen into the boss, so that is a thing, and I'm sure he would have done it if I had mana. Just be ready for it. Now on this boss that's coming up, do not kick or interrupt the first phase, in this whole first phase, because what happens is if the kicks work out in just the wrong way, the boss is going to overlap her abilities, and that's what's going to wipe your party, or it's going to be just extremely hard for you to heal through. It makes it twice as hard because the abilities are overlapping. But if you don't kick, see, someone kicked it there. It's habit sometimes. Not everyone knows this too. Some abilities are going to overlap, and I'll let you know if it happens here. For this fight, all you gotta do, you don't have to stress out as much as I am, but you just have to make sure the heal over times come out before the blinding light, and just heal through the blinding light once people get hurt. Otherwise, in terms of movement, watch your feet. If you're getting targeted by the circle beam, you're gonna have to run around. But the good news is you have plenty of heals you can cast while you're moving around. Again, heal over times in your party. You don't have to be as crazy as I am here. I'm making sure that like most people have double heal over times. I just don't want to fail this key, and so you could be less scared than I am, particularly with the paladin, who everyone's taking pretty low damage. But for this, when that comes out, the holy flame, make sure you do use a cooldown there. Why not? And I will always, for this fight, just make sure I'm looking behind me as much as possible. But obviously you have to turn around when the boss does the blinding light ability. Okay, here comes holy flame, raid wide damage. Just use your clear casted regrowths, your wild growth, and muscle through it. I still have 2 nature's grasps. I know life is good. Okay, all right, so here comes overlapping abilities. Did you see how all those abilities just kind of came out at the same time? That's not fun. Thankfully it didn't really do a whole lot, but it can be a lot worse than that. Right, that was the overlap. All 3 abilities at the same time. Now, for this one, you have to keep heal over times up. You want to get a rake and rip out on the boss if you can. That I should have done, but I'm just kind of paranoid right now. Your job here is you can stop an entire side here. Drop your vortex, wait for them to get pulled back by it once, as best you can, then go up and typhoon them back even further, and then you have essentially wiped that entire side by yourself. And hopefully your team is competent enough for any of the 4 people is competent enough to do the same thing to the left side. That is going to save your party from a wipe. At a 15 key, those guys do too much damage even for a DK, Death Knight, to live through, okay, with their defensives up. So you have to make sure that at least one of the sides is done like I did it there, but both sides is better. People have been running Priory a long time, so generally at higher keys, people are gonna know how to do that. But if you don't know that as a druid, you can take out an entire side. And if you don't know, the reason why that works is because their health, those mobs' health, dwindles over time. So you just install, buy time, so they die by the time they reach your party. So otherwise, once you get up here, it's honestly the same thing as down there. And now you can interrupt, but I would focus on damage now because now it's really not as much to worry about. I mean, it's all the same thing, so you should be familiar with it. And boom, there it is. And I was so happy this one was done because I did so many attempts on this. I would be surprised if you one-shot it in a pub. Okay, really surprised at 15 key. At least at this time. Once your eye level gets higher, I'm sure it's easier. But I hope you learned something from this video. This was a really tough one, and you really just need to have some good luck and a good group, but you have to make sure you hit your heal checks and you're ready for it, okay? Hope this video helped you. Like, comment, subscribe. Pinkpwnage out.